Hello and welcome back to another video, this time a None Pointless Pickup special. And before I begin, may I just announce here that none of the games you're about to see being shown are available for sale or trade at this present moment in time. So with that being said, let's move on down to the table. That is a mug of tea, that is Dick Tracy, and let's get on with it. So the first thing I picked up, and the postman's just forcefully put this through the door. Absolute disgusting, Royal Mail. The amount of money you're paying to post things, look at the state of this. Crush it. I mean, yes, admittedly it doesn't matter. And it's an extension cable for the Sega Genesis. Obviously will work for the Mega Drive as well. And this was less than £4 delivered. I was quite surprised to put a cheeky £2 bid on, £1.45 postage. And I ended up winning it, so really pleased to have that, because it means that if I need to, if I want to, I can actually play my Mega Drive in bed now, which is a nice little feature because that's currently where the system's set up in my bedroom. And if you haven't noticed, I've actually changed rooms. This was my bedroom, now it's sort of the games room, the game storage room. Not that that's really relevant to this particular video. The next thing I picked up was Solar Striker for the Nintendo Game Boy. You may well remember the last video. There was some mention of Japanese Game Boy games, and this is the one that I decided I wanted to keep. This is actually the one that I bought the bundle for, to be in all honesty. Fantastic little shooter, quite basic, cracking little soundtrack, a lot of fun to play. It's not in the best of conditions, but it's certainly not in the worst, so quite pleased with that. Also, I have already took the insides out, because it's always amazed me how, when we've got games over here, our cartridges and our boxes, they don't really match up. You know, we've got a massive box and a small cartridge, and you see the Japanese leading the way once again with the Game Boy here. And why we didn't have it like this, I don't know. It would just seem to make perfect sense, but of course, bigger is better, apparently. So next up, bit of a golf kick on the Mega Drive. It's Super Masters Golf. Now, a bit of an interesting story about this particular title, because when the Genesis released in America, obviously the Mega Drive had already been out in Japan for a year or so, so it had a number of titles, and obviously America, you know, big sports country, so they wanted some sports games, so all they did was they took Japanese titles, and this was actually Arnold Palmer's Golf in America. They did the same with Final Blow, which became James Buster Douglas Boxing, and quite a few other games as well. And what makes this game particularly interesting is it's very much like NES Golf, in that it will tell you how long the course is in yards, it will tell you how far your club can hit a ball in the instruction manual, and that's it. The rest of it is left down to you and your own devices to work out which club is best to select for the shot, which may seem complicated, but I bet you it's a lot more fun in multiplayer in the PGA Tour Golf Series, just because of the fact that it's not overly easy. So we shall see. I've not really given it a fair shot yet, but I'm looking forward to trying that out when my mate comes back off holiday. We'll go around and play a bit of Mega Drive goodness around his house. So next up is a Mega CD game. It's Sylpheed. Now, I have owned this on the PlayStation 2, not a particular version, I think it was a sequel or a game further on down the line. Quite enjoyable, but this one is a cut above the rest. Really love the graphical style. Sort of running basic FMV in the background. The disc's actually in the machine. But it looks spectacular. It really does look spectacular. It's pretty hard to tell really in this room. It's quite dark, and obviously I'm here using the iPhone, so. But certainly the backgrounds and the actual gameplay. It's a cracking title. I paid less than £6. I've been on the lookout for this for a while, but people generally want £10, £15 for it. A little bit too much for me, but I was happy to pay £6. And fantastic game in great condition. So next up, the game I was really excited to add to the collection, and that's Shadow of the Beast, the Japanese version. Now, I was thinking this was really hard to find, but just before I made this video I looked on eBay and somebody else has listed another copy. So if you're interested, there is another one on there currently now. I think the starting bid's about £4, postage about £6. Not a bad price, and this has got one of the most interesting tales in Mega Drive history. Basically, Shadow of the Beast was originally released by Electronic Arts on the Mega Drive in Europe. And when they did the Genesis conversion, somehow they managed to mess it up, the clock speed, and it ended up being 20% faster, which ruined the game. It made it really difficult. And so Victor decided that wasn't going to be good enough for the Japanese market. So they actually reworked the game. They had the original code from Electronic Arts. They changed some of the sprites, they changed some of the graphics, they changed some of the sound, but most importantly, they got the clock speed right. So again, I've not played this yet, but such a legendary title. And I remember seeing this on the Amiga, and the music, just incredible. It's quite a basic game, I think, but certainly historically it's very important, and I think this one's got quite an interesting tale. The only other game I can think that's like that is Marble Madness, which again was an Electronic Arts title that Tengen converted for the Japanese market. In fact, I don't even think that's a conversion, I think that's a complete reimagining, but it's another title I wouldn't mind getting, but I'm in no rush. So Shadow of the Beast. And last but not least, basically all of the PS2 games, I've still got plenty, but all of the PS2 games I had left from a last for sale video, I thought, you know what, it's not easy getting rid of games, it's not easy, it's hard work. I thought, you know, I'm going to take them all to my local game shop, independent game shop, Game World in Leicester. I'm just going to trade them all in. There was about 18 games, and I was thinking, if I can turn these 18 games into one, I've won on many different levels. Certainly in terms of storage, I'm miles ahead. And so that's exactly what I did, and I was really pleased with the game I got. It's Karushi Final, Mental Blocks. Now this is a very nostalgic game for me, mainly because when I first got my PlayStation 1 it came with Demo on disc, like most people's did, and that included Karushi. And I've heard this tale told by quite a few people really recently, is that, you know, when PlayStation first came out it was very expensive. The games were £40 each, just as they are today, but you know, it was expensive, so most people played the demo disc to death, and that's exactly what happened with me. I remember there was Karushi on there, Overboard, I'll say I remember, that's about all I remember. But yeah, some cracking games, and I love this title, fantastic puzzle game. And unfortunately, when I first got my PS2, I actually got rid of this game, as well as the original Karushi. Always regretted that, one of the biggest gaming regrets of my life. But pleased to get it back, and I'll definitely try and post a gameplay video of this game at some point soon, because it really is a cracker that's well worth adding to your collection if you're a fan of puzzle games. So that's it for now. Sorry about the shaky camera work, but I thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll load some more videos soon. Mint condition.